My name is Yahav Hartman. I'm living in Vienna for the last 6 years. I came specifically for this event. By the time Itai booked me for this event, the title was actually The Insights from Managing $45 million a month on Facebook ads, which refers to Magics.com, which is all of the spend that all of our clients are doing together. But actually, by the time now, a few months or weeks later, we're already at 75 or 70, I think, 70, maybe already 75 million a month. So these are the numbers we're doing. So we have really a lot of insights into what works, and what are the tactics, what are the strategies, how are Facebook advertisers really achieving success on Facebook. And all the presentation today is really for you guys to really get high-level tips, strategies, tactics, as of what works, that you can go home later on, implement those things, whether you're not doing or want to start Facebook ads, smaller spenders, bigger spenders. We're working with clients doing millions in ad spend a month, some clients hundreds of thousands, but we have thousands of users on our platform, so I would love also to keep something like 5 to 10 minutes at the end, just to answer all of your questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to write them down. We'll have time at the end to answer everything. So yeah, basically, I already told you what we're going to focus on today, but the key is to unlock Facebook advertising scaling limits. Some of you don't have the problem of scaling, which is basically to increase budgets while you're successful, while keeping the returns. So if you're not in the scaling yet, don't worry. The principles and the things we'll touch are also for people that are just starting out. The same principles that people that are managing millions of dollars a month are also valid and applicable for smaller spenders or people that are just starting out and spending the $500 a month. So before we just start, I want to kind of like feel the audience that I can better tailor the presentation. So I want to see how many of you guys are running Facebook today? Okay, looks like a lot, 70-80% of the audience. And how many of you have run Facebook in the past? Like, is there anyone that didn't run Facebook? Who didn't run? Okay, so it looks like the whole audience actually ran Facebook. Around 80% or 75 are still running today. I believe the other 25% are not running because Facebook becomes much more competitive. It's much more hard. It's harder to succeed on the platform today if you don't have the right content, the right strategies, the tactics. If your product is not good enough, you need a lot of lifetime value in order to achieve success. This is just a little bit about myself. So I started again 7 years ago in a marketing technology company. I'm working with Facebook ads for over 7 years now. So I've seen the whole platform evolve from the very beginning until where it is today. Also, as an agency owner, we had an ad agency managing, it's called ROAS Media. ROAS, of course, is return on ad spend, managing up to 2 million, 1 to 2 million, minimum of 1 million, 2 million a month with select clients, very boutique ad agency. We were doing a lot of fashion brands, e-com, also lead gen, also app installs with the biggest dating app in Europe. We've been doing a lot of advertisers, but the main thing we focus on is big spenders. So we never did something else besides Facebook, because there's so much depth in the platform. Because once you start managing, let's say about $50K, $100K, $300,000 a month and more, millions, every small tweak you do, let's say you turn on expand interest, or you slice the demographics, or all of those small changes, they affect the performance like crazy. So this is where our talent was. This is where we have the speciality, and there are not so many agencies that really know how to maximize in big spends. And again, I will touch those things today. At some point, we felt like in the agency that we couldn't scale HR-wise. Are there any agency owners here? Agency owners? A bunch. So you know how you might be very, very successful with your clients, and you might be even growing, but you know that you can't just suddenly like 10x your client base, right? You need to hire 10 times more people. So we had a great success with ROAS Media, but we felt like, okay, what's the next thing? How can we make a huge impact and serve hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of customers and transfer them this knowledge? This is right by the time when Magics was born. And Magix is basically where we're developing Facebook advertising technologies, today managing $70 million a month across thousands of advertisers, helping them to get all the advertising tools they need to succeed on the platform. What does it mean? If you break down Facebook ads, you have a lot of areas that you need to master. You need to master audience creation, campaign creations, multivariate testing and permutations. You need to to tailor creatives to audiences at scale. There's a lot of nuances and automation tactics. Once you create a powerful strategy, you have the automation tactics that will maintain it, right? You need to make sure that the budgets are spent in an optimized way. And once you're profitable, the next question is like, how do we scale this, right? How do we replicate this success with time, 10 times more budgets? So all of those things, there are techniques, tactics, methods, solutions, hacks that are all centered towards this. And within Magix, we have all this knowledge that we had from the ad agency on Facebook, extreme high-end heavy hitters just on Facebook, and we embedded this knowledge into the technology in order to enable it for more people. So I would like to share with you even in our ad agency, no matter who is the client, we would always start with this setup, okay? No matter what is your account, you always need to make sure that you're starting with a full funnel targeting strategy, which is basically a 360 audience coverage of all of your potential customers, people that know you, people that don't know you, and your existing customers. Because at the end of the day, when you want to grow your business, if we go just 1 second before we dive deep into extreme high-end stuff, what are the basics of growing any business? And it's right for affiliates and ad agencies and clients. At the end of the day, you want to maximize your lifetime value and your cost of acquisition, right? And it really comes down to, as a business, you want to convert new customers, right, at a lower cost. You want to, once they come to the website, you want to convert more of them. And then you want to retain the ones you converted and sell more to them. That's like an upsell. So all of this comes down to something like this, okay? So the 3 basic principles, if you really, now we dive deep and we look what does it actually mean to acquire, to retarget, to retain, it looks like this. And this is just the beginning because those are just the audience types. You can also run those audience types with different types of permutations, different types of settings, countries, bidding optimization, event optimization. There's so many things in addition. So let me explain how do we start accounts, okay? Every time we start an account, we always want to make sure that we're getting things right from attribution standpoint of view. It doesn't worth running Facebook ads if you're not providing incremental value to the business. What does incremental value mean? It means that actually that the numbers you see on Ads Manager should actually reflect bottom line sales. So now when you run AdWords, and then AdWords brings a customer to the site, and then Facebook has retargeting, and you retarget those people, and there's a sale, AdWords will say that it brought the sale, and Facebook will say that it brought the sale in their default attribution windows. And in such a case, it just creates a mess, and people don't trust the attribution platforms and systems. So we created the methodology that is called the ARR method, which stands for acquisition, retargeting, and retention, which is a key concept of separating core audiences from the very beginning, even before you run the campaigns. First of all, we separate them and use smart exclusions between them so that we're 100% sure that when we target a prospecting audience, that we're really bringing brand new people to the business. And this is very, very important. So that's the first area, acquisition prospecting. Those people are people that don't know you at all. Okay, they never saw your ads. They didn't visit your website in the last 30 days, for example. So they even didn't come from AdWords or other channels. And they never bought from you. Those people don't know you. Okay, that's really the top of the funnel. Those are new people you're trying to engage with and to build your awareness. And those should be separated in a different campaign, okay? You never want to have those, you never want to have everything in one campaign. You always want to keep this separation because it's a method of also organizing the way you run ads. You can't run ads when there's a mess. It has to be, you have to have this simplicity, otherwise the attribution will be completely fucked up and you won't be able to trust the numbers you're looking at. And if you're an agency owner, it's the same thing. Your clients will say, we don't trust the numbers and you can't scale and you're fighting with them on attribution. Again, this model eliminates this completely. The second part are people that know you. Those guys, they know you, but they never been to your website and they never purchased from you, okay? Those are again in a separate campaign. Over here, you have video viewers, you have page engagers, ad engagers, and a bunch of other audiences. The next area is retargeting. Retargeting, you all know. Even in retargeting with split audiences, you have people that are high intent. Let's say they perform add to cart, they initiate checkout, that payment info, but have not purchased. You also have the lower intent, which is page view, view content. Those are also separations you do, but this is inside, also already inside the retargeting campaign. You have another modular approach into the audiences according to the value, which then enables you to distribute the budgets in an intelligent way. The last point is retention. Retention is very, very important because not many advertisers are doing it. Everyone relies on email and SMS marketing and a bunch of other stuff you heard in today's presentation, but actually email open rate only stands at, if you're lucky, at 20%. So if you really want to reach like 90% of your database of existing customers, you must run retention ads and target those people. That's how you get your upsells, that's how you sell more to your customers and increase the lifetime value. So this is the ARR method, okay? This is, again, the basic principles, but in some cases, this would not be enough. This could be enough, this method will be enough if mainly your account, mainly your business is running from Facebook traffic. But what happens if you have Google AdWords and you have native, Outbrain, Taboola, you have a lot of organic, you're a big business. For example, at Magix, we mainly run Facebook ads. So for us, we only use the ARR method because we're growing with Facebook alone as our main acquisition channel. But if you have a lot of them, you start to have a problem with retargeting. Because retargeting is going to run after people that Facebook brought and people that other channels brought. And this is exactly why we developed the expanded ARR method, which is what you see over here. And it basically splits the retargeting into two parts. You retarget traffic that came from acquisition prospecting separately from the traffic that you retarget on the website which did not come from Facebook. And you do it by doing exclusions and separating the campaigns. And then also you can automatically, with our system, we classify them. In your case, for example, if you're not using a smart system that knows how to classify it, you just need to say, okay, it's retargeting, but for me it's acquisition. And then when you run the search on your ads manager, write acquisition, you know that this retargeting comes with acquisition, and then you can measure the revenue and the cost and know your real return on ad spend for acquisition. And in many, many businesses, and it actually should be in every business, as long as you hit a minimum return on ad spend on the acquisition piece, you can basically scale into unlimited budgets because this is self-financing, right? This is something that is profitable for the business, and you want to keep pushing it as much as you can. Then you have the retargeting of the other traffic. You still want to retarget traffic that did not come from Facebook, because it's effective, but you really want to know which traffic initially came from Facebook so that you can kind of combine this half retargeting with acquisition. It's a very, very strong tactic, and it will help a lot of ad agencies. If you're a Facebook ad agency that you're doing only Facebook, it would really help you to justify to your boss, to justify to clients, why you should be spending more on Facebook ads. And this way, you're getting the full attribution. And by the way, this method is the only possible way in the world to know the exact ROI of your Facebook channel, because all other methods, even Datorama and all those like big companies that are trying to fix attribution, they don't figure it, they just rely on click, on like analyzing clicks. And over here, when using this method, you can also include the view-through. So Facebook does not share this data externally. So again, this is another strong benefit here. And this is exactly how you do it. It's very simple. Remember that initially in the ARR method, we have acquisition campaigns separated from everything else. So all you need to do is to tag those campaigns with UTM. And then you exclude them and you target them. It's very simple. You can take a photo of this or ask later. In terms of budgets, we talked about the ARR method. But how much should you spend on acquisition prospecting, acquisition remarketing, retargeting, retention? How do you even... Okay, now we have it organized. Many people don't even have it organized. But once you have it organized, you can think, wait, how much am I spending here, 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 in percentages? And how does it change if you're an agency across different clients or across different business units? And you would always have this optimal number. For example, if you're having a lot of traffic coming from AdWords or from organic, maybe you're going to be even bigger on retargeting, right? But this is more or less the numbers we see. We see that around 80%, 70 to 80% of the budget goes into acquisition. And also in acquisition, we have the prospecting and the remarketing, right? So it's very important to understand that if the remarketing return on, if we just look at prospecting alone, okay? If the remarketing ROAS is lower than the prospecting ROAS, you're doing something wrong, basically. Because why should you target people with a second touch and not shift those budget into first touch people that don't even know you, and they're like impulsive buyers that convert right on the spot. So just by having this view, you have kind of like a sanity check that you can see that the business is, the Facebook ads operation, the business is running in a healthy and intelligent way. And then of course the retargeting. If your retargeting ROAS is lower than remarketing on a prospecting, it's also crazy, because it means you're just bombarding people. So immediately shift those budgets up the funnel and go fix your retargeting, right? Make better creatives, make better ad copies, it's content, maybe it's audiences, maybe it's something else. And finally, retention, don't forget it, even if it's just 3% of your budget, you will see the highest return on ad spend from this segment. So highly, highly recommended to try. So now let's break it down even further. How do the campaigns look like? On every account, I recommend everyone to have acquisition, let's say 2 campaigns. One is prospecting lookalikes. The other one can be prospecting of interest. Then you have acquisition, remarketing, okay, retargeting, and retention. So at minimum, you need to have 4 campaigns, which is the ARR method, splitting acquisition into 2 parts. And then you would always want to create new acquisition campaigns when you scale. You can do new campaigns with different creatives, different audiences. You can take, just for you to know, if I go just back here a second, that you will see, most of the budget goes into acquisition. So you need to make sure that you're testing all of the different available types of audiences in acquisition, because it's so much budget is going into there. It will be crazy not to test different things. That's why in the next slide, here I said that you need at least 2 campaigns, but ideally you can have more, because you can have broad targeting. Broad targeting is like pixel targeting. You're not even targeting anything. It's the bigger you are as an advertiser, the better it's going to work for you. So we have broad targeting, and then you have lookalikes, broad lookalikes. There's also lookalikes based on AI audiences or ERFM audiences. We'll touch it later. And then you have interest targeting, yeah? And then you can also do interest targeting, intersection with lookalike as a type of audience. And you can do interest with interest. And there's also an option to do an intersection of lookalike audiences together with another lookalike. This is only available through the API, but it's very, very powerful. So if so much budget is spent into this, you really want to make sure you're testing all of those areas. And again, that's the campaign structure. So what is this AI audience that I'm talking about? It's basically, we took a model from retail businesses, in the business intelligence space of enterprise companies. They're using ERFM as a module to score their customer base and understand who is a high valuable customer, who is a frequent customer, et cetera, et cetera. So we actually did an experiment with this, and every time we see it, this is a huge hack. If you apply this tactic, it's a huge hack to grow your to push your AOV upwards. And when your AOV grows, your ROAS grows immediately. So this is a very strong tactic. You can see that we're actually in this account, we're using the expanded ARR method. So if you can see in the filter, it says filter people who met the condition, UTM campaign source is not acquisition. So every customer that did not come from Facebook acquisition had an average order value of 100, but people that were acquiring through this acquisition campaign of ERFM achieved 250, you can see it over here, and it's the same account, it's the same environment. Just by doing this, we really reached higher audiences, which you can see it leads into, you can really reach up to 3x more in your average order value, which would then increase your ROAS by 2.5% at least, and as a multiplier. And I just want for you to understand how it works on the Facebook AI, because their algorithms are pretty advanced here. And at the end, we're not necessarily reinventing the wheel, but we really understand how Facebook works, and then we can provide them highest value audiences in order to bring the lookalike. So that's basically how it works. You see, this is your customer base in the middle. Everything in the circle is your current customers. Everything outside the circle is your potential market, so your total addressable market. Now, if you use ERFM audiences, for example, if you look alike from a specific category of your website, or only your platinum buyers, or only people from a specific URL, or only specific people that view the specific category from your product catalog, you will realize that you can actually find this long tail that you see over here. Because when you look alike only people that like, let's say, running shoes, you'll find more people that are highly likely to buy running shoes. And then you also basically align the content to it. And this is kind of like how it works in deep. This is the algorithm we're using. We're looking at monetary value and frequency. This is the work that usually an analyst can do in Facebook Analytics or using other tools like Magix. And we're applying micro-segmentation. So we're looking at engagement intent. So is it a high-intent visitor? Is it a low-intent visitor? Is it even a customer? And then the recency. When was it? Last 180 days, 60 days, 30 days, frequency. How many times did someone add to cart? If you don't have like thousands of purchases, no problem. We know for sure you have people that visited the site more than 3 times in the last 90 days, right? So it's much better. So the algorithm will already find those things. And you can also create those lookalikes by yourself by understanding this concept. Again, put AOV and LTV. You have people that spend more. You have people that spend less. And you have people that look at expensive products and people that look at cheaper products. If you look like people that visited more expensive products, you're more likely to reach into bigger pockets and more high-quality audiences, which then translate into ROAS, product categories, huge, and countries. Then we take all those different recency. ERFM stands for engagement. And then we take different recency, different frequency, and different monetary value, and we basically create one segment from it and lookalike from it. Also here you have constraints, because Facebook doesn't let you look alike an audience that is smaller than 100 people. And it's even actually recommended to go to the 500 and 1,000 and above. So we automatically find this segment, but you can also do it yourself. And then, okay, how does everything connect together? You created those audiences, and then you create the micro segments. It's still a custom audience by this point. Then you look alike it. And then also, if we talked about the running shoes, for example, as a category, I don't know, high intent visitors that visited the running shoes category or view the category product, or by the URLs, you can also do it. You then show them running shoes. So what does it actually mean? It means that you need to look at your store in a modular approach. You're not just a general store that sells everything. So Nike is not Nike. You have Nike running, you have Nike shoes, you have Nike t-shirts, Nike polo. If you look like people from Nike polo, you will find people that are playing golf, for example, or horses, I don't know what it is. And you will reach more of those people and you will ride this long tail. This is a huge hack. It's an easy win audience. Every one of you should do this audience, even today, or at least this week or next week. It's called top seed audience as a concept to lookalike from. I will show you this in a bit. You can also go up to 20% lookalike. I know from the ads manager it's limited to 10%, so this is, especially if broader audiences work good for you, 20% is going to crush. An international lookalike. So people of you that try to lookalike, you already know that sometimes Facebook says that the seed audience is too small to lookalike, but if you use the international lookalike product of Facebook, which is what we use, then in a few seconds you can create lookalikes into every country, even though you don't have enough people in that country. So it will model the people from the source country or source of many countries into your country of destination. By the way, we're seeing a lot of users that now in the US, Facebook are testing removing countries completely in the lookalikes. So most probably in the future, if it will succeed, go beyond beta, you will not need to specify any more countries with lookalikes. They will automatically do it according to the targeting, so it's something we see, but it's not rolled out globally, it's only in a few accounts in the US. So this is how this audience works. At the end of the day, if you look at all of your audiences in your account, it's very, very hard to do it in Ads Manager, but at the end of the day, if you aggregate the data, you can know which one is your best audience according to the ROAS performance and the lookalikes created from it. So over here, we already sort all of your audiences by performance, and then you can just go and select like your top 3, your top 5, your top 10, and lookalike them at 1%. Then we will take all of those. It will be basically 10 times 10 different audiences lookalike at 1%, and we combine them into one ad set. So this is actually a blended lookalike, which is super, super powerful because on one hand, you're achieving a very large audience, which is great for Facebook to work, but on the other hand, it's super high quality. Okay, so this is kind of a great hack to do. Not just this, you also need to make sure you're targeting the most profitable countries. So you need to have those statistics based on your account data. We sometimes see clients who are in shock. They don't even know that they have a profitable region. They don't know that they're spending all their money on a region that doesn't work. So with a few clicks, you can just select your best countries, and then also the lookalikes we talked about before, all those 10 lookalikes at 1% will be created for those countries. So you're taking all the settings, all the knowledge, all the data from your ad account, and executing it in the best possible way. Even here you can see we're excluding ages. You see in this account, the return on ad spend of 18 to 24 is 0.89. We spent quite a lot of money on it. Let's drop them. Same here, age and gender and placements. We always recommend to have a few ad sets that are kind of completely open in terms of like they don't limit Facebook too much, but you always want to create those niche campaigns, side campaigns that have it really kind of like narrowed down. We tested it internally. You'll see higher CTRs, you'll see better ROAS. It's really, really scalable even in Magix. One of our guys in the teams, Chris is a German guy. He has a German accent, and I discovered that his ads, like when he explains the platform, are working the best in Germany. And at the end of the day, now it's kind of like simple to think about it and makes sense. He has a German accent, and then the German audience kind of like conceives it better. But I would never think about this without looking into those insights. Yeah. Then also lunchtime optimization is very important. You need to know kind of like what's the best time of the day to launch the ads. Many people, usually it will be 12 at night. Like if you don't know what's the best time, just launch it at 12 at night, assuming you're using daily budgets. Because if you do it at midnight, you're giving Facebook the whole day, the whole 24 hours to schedule the delivery. If you're just now like launching campaigns in the afternoon, you're just forcing Facebook to spend all the budget from 4, let's say, to 12, which then kind of like force Facebook to spend it. They won't be able to find the best people during the day, and it hurts performance. So always launch at midnight, unless you know the most optimized time. In this case, it's one and kind of like launch it 15 minutes before. But also you should always launch it before, and then just so the ad gets approved, and only once the ads get approved, then you turn it on, for example, at 1, okay? This is very, very important because the algorithm works really similar to organic. So I know everyone here is using Facebook, and you notice that sometimes if you post a post in your best time of the day or the week, you'll just get more likes and comments for your own stuff. So it's kind of the same thing on the Facebook ads platform. If you know that there are better hours of the day, or there are better demographics, or there are better platforms, then you're starting strong the day, and then it gives Facebook good signals. You're getting high relevance score, you're paying lower CPMs, and you just get more higher quality audiences. So it's something you really want to leverage. Again, not a lot of people are doing it because it's a lot of work usually to do it manually. You don't have time to go into those things unless you have a software that can help you, or you find a way to automate this thing. Talking about automations, automation is the most important thing of the business. At the end of the day, you cannot sit all day in front of your Facebook ad account. I did it myself when I was running the agency. Almost 24/7, I know every ad set, I know every campaign, I reduced the budget, I increased the budget, just acting like a broker, like that's selling stocks. It's kind of the same thing. Yeah, I see you nodding with the head. Yeah, exactly, you know what I'm talking about, right? So I really wanted to show you a set of rules and tactics that you must implement, and it will create a situation where you just have if you install it, it's just like having a media buyer working for you 24/7 that doesn't go off vacation. And then you can spend your time and go off weekends and meet friends and be with your family, which is the important stuff. You don't want to optimize the account, and you basically want to navigate your business. So my main take for today, I want you to focus on navigating your business, because your products, your strategy, the offers, the content, these are the things that you have the most impact on, and everyone has his own genius zone in the business. For example, I love doing product. I don't like to do finance stuff. So just focus on what you're best at. And I'm sure that nobody is really best at optimizing his ad account. It's just it's not efficient. It's, for example, I know we're in Israel here, so I want to give you a short story about navigating your business. Actually, I'm living 6 years in Vienna, but I was in the IDF in a combat unit, and as you know, you always go to navigate. You go navigating at night. So in the beginning, I was not very good in navigating, and then at some point I realized why, and it was because they teach you to basically count your steps, and then according to the steps, if it's 60 steps, you do 100 meters. So by counting those 60 steps, you did 100 meters. But when I was counting the steps, I couldn't focus on looking at the landscape and where I am and remembering the map. So for me, it's kind of the same thing. Take this analogy and look at it as optimizing your ad account. Just waste your time and puts your focus on things that are not important. And how I solved it, I just learned that a certain pace I walk in like this, it's 6 kilometers per hour, which by the way would give you 100, 1-1 score. And I just knew that that's the pace I need to walk. And if I walk in this pace, every minute is 100 meters, and every 10 minutes is a kilometer. So I just opened a stopper, and then I was focused on the way. So I want you to focus on your business, just like in this, and don't fall into optimizing your account. So now we'll touch quickly those 6-7 tactics that are super powerful. The first one is stop loss. It's really, really important to have stop loss on ad level and on ad set level. In this example, you see it on ad set level. So basically, every time on a daily basis that, let's say, you're spending above 30 euro, or depends again, there's smart algorithms for this, but it's kind of coming in default. Every time you spend above $30 on an ad set on a given day, it turns it off. Okay? But then at midnight, as you see, it turns it back on, because there's a huge seasonality on the account. And if you're running Facebook ads, you know that when you have a good day early in the morning, it's very likely to continue a good day. And when it's not so good, it's likely to kind of trend downwards. So exactly for this, you want to do stop loss. It enables you to run with more ad sets, with more budgets. It's kind of like going into a poker table that you can't afford in some way, because you know that you're protected with the stop loss. So it's really kind of like the more ad sets you have, the higher the possibilities that you'll have a success in one of them, and they'll yield results for you. So you can also do it on the ad level. In this example, it's a very, very cool example. We're doing it based on outbound clicks. So let's say you have, 4 to 8 ads inside an ad set. You want to make sure that you're turning off every ad that did not receive a click, outbound click into your website within $3. Because if you didn't get a click within $3, this ad is kind of not going anywhere, and maybe it's just better that you turn it off, and the ad set will give the budgets to other ads. So that's like a strong example here. And then you just need to apply it on all of your campaigns, ad sets and ads that you want. And then there is revive. So let's say the stop loss turned off your ad set or ad, and then someone purchased in the evening. Suddenly, this ad or ad set becomes profitable. So this tactic automatically turns it back on, so that you have a profitable asset running there. It's kind of an obvious thing to do. Then we have the surf ABO. Surf is the opposite of stop loss. So stop loss comes to protect your losses in a bad day, but what happens when you have a good day? You want to surf those budgets up, and we're using some kind of algorithm. You can look at it and use it yourself. It's an algorithm that looks at, we're doing a scoring of the ad set. Is it trending upwards? Is it trending downwards? Is it the best ad set, the worst ad set? How much is the ad set budget? Is it low, medium, high? And according to the table, we're increasing the budgets for the day. So if someone already has like 2 purchases, let's increase the budgets, and then you'll end up with 5, 6, 7, as an example. Same thing for the campaign surf. We have a few checks a day, and then we look at the ROAS. If the ROAS is 2.37 to 2.76, then we'll increase by 30%. But if it's like 3.55 and above, we'll increase by 100% because you can afford it, because it's a good day. It doesn't make sense not to increase the budget. But you just can't sit all day on the account and do those things. So yeah, exactly for this, again, you need the automations, also sunsetting. It might be that you have an ad set. If you're doing lead gen, e-com, app install, it doesn't matter. You have an ad set that early in the morning is very profitable, but then the whole day it doesn't bring any sale or any lead, and meanwhile it eats up all of your profits. So this tactic basically looks into how much money you're spending over time on an ad set without a purchase, and then once there's a purchase, it basically reduces the budget. And if still there's no purchase, so once there's no purchase, it reduces the budget, and if there's still no purchase, it will turn it off. Why is it like this? It's exactly how our brain worked in the agency. It's exactly how we did manually. We looked at every ad set. This is not going anywhere, reduce budget. You're reducing the budget, it also sends the ad set back into the auction of Facebook, and they're recalculating, and in most cases, it actually improves performance. If it still didn't improve, it will get shut down. Again, very, very powerful tactic to use. We don't have a lot of time, so we'll go through it very quickly. We have scaling strategies such as bid testing, horizontal scale, vertical scale. Bid testing, usually when you select the ad set to bid test as a scaling strategy, you want to use an audience that is very big, because you're going to duplicate it like now 5 to 7 times, let's say. And you also want to choose an audience that has consistent performance over time. Otherwise, don't send it to a bid test. For example, here, maybe the third one has, like, you see those green strips. So if it has like 5 strips of green, you want to take this ad set into a bid test. Audience size is 58 million. That's a great example of one to choose. We don't have time to go through bid testing, but it's an algorithm that changes the bidding, and then you're getting into the audience from multiple directions. After 5 or 7 days, we look back at the performances. We shut down the ad sets that were not successful, and then all the budget goes into the strong ones. Again, very, very powerful tactic. Same thing for permutations. Once you start, remember the audiences from the beginning. Once you implement all of them, you will see what worked. That's the first stage. Once you know what works, you need to go then and permutate. If 1% worked, let's check 2%. If 5% worked, let's check 6% of lookalike. If low intent, high value visitors worked for you, why don't you try high intent, high value visitors? So you want to play with the audience types that are similar, and the timeframes, and the lookalike percentage, and the countries, and even the optimization conversion event. So you can really do a bunch of stuff with permutations. This is in terms of media buying. In terms of understanding creative performance, this is a map we're doing. That's what we've been doing in the agency for years, manually. We were just exporting data, then unifying the data. Because, for example, if you're running Facebook, you know there's different campaign types, right? Conversions, PPE, video view. You maybe have a different ad and different post ID. So Facebook doesn't report it on the creative level, so we kind of unify those creative performances and then put it on a map like this, and then you can say, okay, I know how much revenue, how much spend I have on each one, everything like right there in the bottom. Those are ones that didn't get enough spend. You want to spend more on them. You want to maybe zoom in and see like who's doing good there but didn't get enough spend. Everything that is on the top is scalable. You want to give it more budgets. Everything on the bottom right is overspending. You want to research this ad, reduce the budgets. We don't have a lot of time, so I'll keep running here. You can spot ad fatigue. You really, like once you found a really bad one, bad creative, just look into it, see that there's an ad fatigue, and then take a decision to turn it off. And again, you find creative who drops out of sites, you find your best creatives and ad copies, and which combinations of creatives and ad copies you're not running. Maybe your best creative is not running with your second best ad copy. It's a classic use case to execute on and launch those campaigns. Sometimes you realize you can also run additional segmentation. You'll see that men audiences convert on women, but women do not convert on men. Right? Like when you're targeting, so, or younger audiences prefer different content. Or people in Germany prefer to see Chris videos and not my videos. So a lot of interesting insights, which then you can scale and also get a lot of insights about your content. How are we in terms of time? Can we continue a bit more? Finish? Okay.
20 minutes.
20 minutes left? 5, 10? Okay, we'll do it really quick. So, okay, we have optimization. Usually you want to go for conversions and let Facebook find your best audience, unless it's a very high intent audience. People, retention, right? Retention, retargeting with high intent. Those are the people you can run also in another campaign, optimizing for reach, because you don't need Facebook's data. You already know that they're good for your business. Then you can buy it on a different method. Another huge thing that people are not doing, it's actually here, it's basically invite page likers. You can just download the Facebook app and then look at the notification and invite every person who liked your ad to like your page. It's very, very important. Many people are not doing it because it will increase your page engagement rate. You'll see that people that are seeing your ads are actually liking your page, and you'll get a better score, you'll reach better audiences. It's a really gold thing and easy to do to everyone. Okay, another big thing, if you're running ads, you know that there's a lot of haters, right? Like some people would comment like, I don't know, depends what's your business, like scam and this and that, and you never delete those ads. Always try to communicate with those people and even give them an unsubscribe link, which is a link that is hosted on your website, and then comment them, hey, if you don't want to receive our ads, it's all fine. Click the link below and unsubscribe. Then they click it to go to the website, into an unsubscribe page. When you say, okay, you've been unsubscribed from our ads, it's something that does not exist. You rather unsubscribe the user and not let Facebook unsubscribe the user for you, because then you're going to lose your score. So this way you're getting more engagement and you're unsubscribing the user. Just make sure you're excluding this audience back again, and it will improve your overall performance. Also make sure you have a comment on the ad and either make people like it or like just make a good comment that people like, and then it will stand up, and you always have like another link or something. You'll get more real estate of your ad. So it's another like really powerful hack. Everyone is talking about CBO. We personally are very big on ABO, on ad set budget optimization. We are not yet migrating completely, but you always should run both type of campaigns. CBO typically work better with larger audiences, a bit less ad sets, and you can still, don't get stressed about CBO because you can always control the spending on the ad set level using min-max budgets, and also use DCO for creative testing. Only after you figured out a good creative via DCO, then launch it into your mass campaigns, that you don't end up with a lot of bullshit in your like ads that don't convert in your main campaigns. That's basically it. I hope we have time for Q&A, but if not, you can always talk to me. You can also find, we have actually a booth here. So you can talk with our team. They wear Magic's t-shirts if you want to know more. Unless we have time for questions, I would love to answer any questions that you guys may have about the content or anything. Anyone has a question? Over there, Elisha? So yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, you can. Our main markets are like we have a e-commerce mode, and then it's ROAS. We have a lead gen mode, and then it's CPL, and we have a app installs mode, and then it's like optimizing for CPI. Any other questions? I saw more hands in the end. Same question? Okay, are you going to implement some strategies you learned today? Yeah? Cool.